Welcome to the 2-Minute Disciple Podcast with your host, Nick Euler, where we slow down with Jesus one passage at a time. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick and it's awesome to be here with you today. Today is June 21st. Each day we follow a simple rhythm. Slow down, read, notice, reread, meditate, respond, and exercise. Let's begin. You're stepping into a sacred space with Jesus. Set aside the distractions of your day. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and slowly release it. As you inhale, whisper, "Jesus, speak your word over me." As you exhale, pray, "Ephphatha, be opened." Do this 3 times, then rest in His presence. I'm reading from Mark chapter 7, verses 31 through 37. Jesus left Tyre and went up to Sidon before going back to the Sea of Galilee and the region of the 10 towns. A deaf man with a speech impediment was brought to him, and the people begged Jesus to lay his hands on the man and heal him. Jesus led him away from the crowd so they could be alone. He put his fingers into the man's ears, then spitting on his own fingers, he touched the man's tongue. Looking up to heaven, he sighed and said, "Ephphatha," which means, "be open." Instantly, the man could hear perfectly, and his tongue was freed so that he could speak plainly. Jesus told the crowd not to tell anyone, but the more he told them not to, the more they spread the news. They were completely amazed and said again and again, "Everything he does is wonderful. He even makes the deaf to hear and gives speech to those who cannot speak." What stands out to you in this passage? Is there a word or phrase that catches your attention? Hold it in your heart for a moment. Hear this story again and notice the care and intentionality with which Jesus heals this man and the single word he speaks. Jesus left Tyre and went up to Sidon before going back to the Sea of Galilee and the region of the 10 towns. A deaf man with a speech impediment was brought to him, and the people begged Jesus to lay his hands on the man to heal him. Jesus led him away from the crowd so they could be alone. He put his fingers into the man's ears, then spitting on his own fingers, he touched the man's tongue. Looking up to heaven, he sighed and said, "Ephphatha," which means, "be opened." Instantly, the man could hear perfectly, and his tongue was freed so he could speak plainly. Jesus told the crowd not to tell anyone, but the more he told them not to, the more they spread the news. They were completely amazed and said again and again, "Everything he does is wonderful. He even makes the deaf to hear and gives speech to those who cannot speak." Jesus takes the deaf-mute man away from the crowd. Privately, gently, away from spectacle, he puts his fingers into the man's ears. He spits and touches the man's tongue. He looks up to heaven and sighs, a deep, feeling sigh as if he's taking on the weight of this man's condition. And then he speaks one word, "Ephphatha," which means, "be opened." And immediately the man's ears are opened. The tongue is released, and he speaks plainly. There's something deeply tender about the way Jesus heals in this passage. He doesn't perform for the crowd. He takes the man aside. He uses touch, the kind of physical contact that communicates to someone who cannot hear that he is seen, that something is about to happen, that he is not alone in this. And the sigh That sigh speaks of a Jesus who feels the brokenness he is about to undo. Be opened. It's a word spoken over a man who could not hear, and it worked, because the one speaking it is the Word through whom all things were made. That same word is available to us, not as a formula, but as a prayer, an invitation for Jesus to open what has been closed in us. Ears that have grown dull to his voice, hearts that have closed around old wounds, mouths that have been silenced by fear or shame. Ephphatha, be opened. He is still saying it. Take a few moments to reflect on this question. What in me needs to be opened today? My ears to God's voice, my heart to his love, my mouth to speak what he has put in me to say. Jesus, speak your word over me today. Whatever has been closed, my ears to your voice, my heart to your love, my mouth to your calling, I ask you to open it, not by my effort, but by your word. Ephphatha, be opened. I receive that word today as if you are speaking it directly to me, because you are. The rush of life will meet you again when you leave this sacred place, but you can carry this moment into your day by forming new habits. Today's habit, be opened. Today's habit is a practice of attentive listening. Find a quiet place, set a timer for 10 minutes, and simply ask Jesus to open your ears to his voice. Then listen. You are not manufacturing a mystical experience. You are practicing the posture of someone who believes that Jesus still speaks and that their ears can be opened to hear him. What comes to mind during that silence? A name, a prompting, a sense of peace or conviction. Receive it gently and bring it back to God. Before you begin, simply pray. Jesus, Ephphatha, open my ears. I want to hear your voice today. Not just words about you, but you yourself speaking. I'm listening. I have one ask of you before you go. Would you please consider supporting the podcast? Click the Support the Podcast link and give a simple gift. That's your 2 minutes with Jesus for today. Now take what you've heard, share it, and live it. Until next time, keep slowing down, keep listening, and keep walking with Jesus.